Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning.
You personally, what's the toughest fight that you've ever been in?
Probably the finale, Colin Hart. I think it was something like the highest strikes landed per minute or strikes landed in a debut fight in the UFC. I think I hit him 123 times and he hit me 102 or something like that in 3 rounds. So we're going some. And that night, that whole night, you know, it was a big night for me. It was my debut in the UFC. It was my birthday. It was in Vegas at the MGM. You know, there was a lot going on. I had Chael Sonnen in my corner, and it was a big night for me, you know. And I went 15 minutes just getting punched constantly. So that was probably the toughest fight.
Probably my toughest fight that I've been in to date would be the Daniel Sarafian fight, you know, down in Brazil, with just the crowd presence. You know, the Brazilian crowd were there's an intimidating atmosphere. Kind of learned to embrace it, though. I kind of knew what I was going into, but once you're there facing it, I was sitting there, I remember thinking, I think I have the fight won, but I'm in Brazil. You know, it's a close fight. I go, I need to get back on top. I had nothing left in my arms. I was like, all right, let's go, one more push. Somehow reverse team, came out on top, got in on one more takedown, you know, to finish the round out. Both of us, you know, at the end, I was exhausted. Like in the interview, had both hands on my knees, just like gave everything I had, you know. But I just remember it coming down to that last, like, I think it was like 30 seconds, just looking at the clock, being like, I could just sit here and rest, finish it out. I think I have it won, but then just ran through my mind, you know, we're in Brazil. You've got to find a way to push through, and came from somewhere. So I'm just glad I was able to do it and make it through that fight.
The toughest fight I've ever been in is, you know, this one was in the bull ring. Yeah, me and the bull in Costa Rica. You know, I've never been scared. You know, stepping into a ring and the bull had me going. I was actually the first out on the ring. I usually hold my ground and stand my ground, but I was actually I was running like a little girl out the thing after our first engagement.
What about toughest MMA fight?
Toughest MMA fight? Oh, now we're talking. Jacare Souza was my toughest fight, no doubt. The guy was tough. Got to give him some credit.
And what's the toughest fight that you've ever been in for any reason?
You know, I'll give this guy a shout out. What's his name? Name's Josh.
Bryant?
Yeah, Josh Bryant, you know. It wasn't that it was the toughest fight I've ever been in. It was the first time someone's took me down and put me on my back, and I've never been there. So it kind of mentally, you know, being on my back was like, shit. It was good, though, because I feel like that really propelled me. Now, if I get put on my back, I know what I'm doing. You know, I can get out if I can go for submission. So that was a test just to see how I, you know, would come back from it, and I thought I did okay.
The toughest fight I've been in ever was my fight against Chris Weidman. I had to back out of my fight against Chael Sonnen because I had bone spurs and my elbow was locked and I couldn't unlock it. So I went in, got surgery, and there was 28 bone spurs in my elbow, and 2 of them got lodged inside my elbow joint. So backed out, and then you know, I had surgery, and in the recovering process, the UFC offered me Chris Weidman. And I had told them it's too soon, and they said, you know, well, we need you to come fight. It's close to your hometown. It's in San Jose, and so I felt the pressure of like, oh man, it's in my hometown. I can do it, you know. And you know, I wasn't training for a whole year, and I was pretty much depressed. I went through a large bout of just eating because I was sad, and I was sad because I was eating. And it's widely documented that I was 261 pounds after my fight against Chris Weidman. And you know, I think a lot of people can relate to me because, you know, a lot of people look to food for comfort, and that's what I did. So what does a fighter do when he can't fight or train? Well, this fighter eats. because I don't have to make weight. So I'm like, oh man, I'm going crazy, you know. And so I went crazy, and before I knew it, I was 261 pounds and not very happy. And so I had to battle back from that. Had to lose a lot of weight, cut a lot of weight for the fight. And if you watch me in that fight, I don't look nearly the same as I do now. And so I learned a lot from that, though. I learned a lot from the preparation, both mentally and physically, emotionally, everything. You know, spirit. I mean, you have to be firing on all cylinders in all areas of your life to be able to be prepared to fight. And I know that, and your preparation is the key. You know, so yeah, that was the toughest fight in my career. And then I came back after that fight and lost 76 pounds in 5.5 months, and was the strongest I've ever been. Cut the weight, the easiest I've ever done it, and I beat Tim Boach.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought